So it's not just a swap meet here today, it's there's a bit of flying going on too.
Yeah, that's right. It's actually our scale day. We have them twice a year here, November and May, and this is the deferred November scale meet, and hopefully the weather will hold and we'll have some great flying.
Awesome. Well, how about we go for a wander and look at some models?
Let's do that.
Some pretty flash facilities around here, isn't there?
Yeah, we're very lucky. We've got full power, 240 volt through the solar panels, as well as 12 volt stations so people can charge their batteries.
We've got the kitchen on, which is great.
Yep, we got the food going, and we've got some wonderful chefs doing beautiful bacon and egg sandwiches, and then we've got hamburgers and for lunch.
So we may as well start at probably the coolest model here.
Yep. Now this is a scratch-built Lancaster, and designed by this man here, or built by this man here, Ron Clarke.
G'day, Ron.
How you going, man?
And Ron, tell us a bit about the Lancaster.
I decided to build something uniquely Australian, so I went for G for George. I wanted to build something big and different, and so I took on the project. I went to Canada to get on board a full-size Lancaster and measure it up so I could be exactly to scale as I could.
And that's this model now, Ron. You can see it in the War Museum in Canberra, can't you?
An exact copy of the Lancaster bomber in the War Memorial, but I wasn't able to get to the one in the War Memorial, so I went to Canada and spent a day with a full-size one and measured where I had to measure up.
Yeah.
And the other thing I did is I bought a Airfix plastic model kit, and they're very accurate, and I scaled up whatever else I needed to do. And it's taken probably 5 years to get it to a point of flying, and it's worked out fairly well.
Yeah.
But I have had a few accidents.
Yeah. Oh.
But now it's settled down fairly well.
And give us the specs of it, Ron. Size and engines, etc.
It weighs almost 25 kilos, 3.4 metre wingspan. It is each engine is Saito 4-stroke 21cc. It has 17 servos, 7 batteries, and of course the 4 engines.
Yeah, and I've seen it fly, and it absolutely looks beautiful in the sky. But it's a bit of a handful, mate, isn't it?
It is a bit of a handful. It can be, but it flies better than what it used to. And it's a case of it's intimidating when you fly it. That's the biggest problem. But being very heavy, you've got to bring it in right to land it.
Yeah. I can imagine. So you're going to taxi it today?
Unfortunately, I got one engine that won't perform. So.
Oh, what a shame.
I've got. It hasn't run for about 6 months, so it's. I think I've got a bad spark plug.
Oh, right.
I'll try and take it off and see if I can have
it.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ron.
No worries.
Thanks, Ron.
We'll go for a bit of a wander now, Colin. How's
Yeah.
that sound? So
Have a look.
This Yobbo owns this plane.
Yeah, I wonder what Yobbo owns this plane, hooning around the sky.
No, it's got the name on it.
Jay Tavora, now who is that man?
Never heard of the bloke. He sounds like a Yobbo.
No, that was a great display, Joel. It was exciting, and it's just what we need here.
And the jug with a Saito.
Yep, now this is Ron Clarke's as well,
Oh,
and this has got a radial Saito in it.
They sure sound good these.
Yeah, and it's an ARF, but Ron actually hand painted the whole thing. And as you can see, he's done a marvellous job.
Fabulous.
Yeah, they were really big, ugly aeroplanes, these Jugs, but they're quite a favourite.
Aren't they? Because they had the big supercharger back here.
That's correct.
That's
That's
right.
correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it was all,
Yeah.
It was all pipes and
Yes.
whatnot to get all the bits to the back.
And they were real trouble to fly because they had such a powerful engine. A lot of people flipped them on takeoff, too much power, and it would just torque roll, you know. So yeah, exciting. It looks like a Burt Rutan, doesn't it, with a canard? Absolutely. I don't know who owns this, and I've never seen it fly, but it's an interesting concept, and I love anything that's outside the square, and this really appeals to me.
You got to love Burt Rutan, then.
You got to love Burt Rutan. That's right. That's right.
Corby.
A little Corby Starlet. Now that's quite a popular aeroplane with modelers. Two reasons: they're easy to build, and they fly absolutely beautifully.
What's this a model of?
This is called a Raven, and this is I'm not quite sure where it originates from. It's fairly new. It's only just been maidened, but it does fly well. But it's based on the Cub design, as you can see, and all high wings like that.
A wide Cub.
A wide Cub, exactly right. Yeah, and does fly very, very well.
All right, let's have a wander over here. What, my cup of tea? Yak
Yes.
54?
Yak 54, fully aerobatic.
Comrade's finest aerobatic model?
Yep.
Juggermeister?
Jungmeister.
Jungmeister, I pronounced it right.
Yes.
My German accent's not
Yeah,
very good.
Jungmeister, yeah. Another popular airplane for modelers, of course.
And now we're into GB territory.
And here we have Doug Radford, one of our members, with his ARF GB. And what engine is it in, Doug?
MVVS 26cc petrol, single cylinder.
There you go. It's MVVS, one of those Czechoslovakian engines. Very popular with modelers, and once again a GB. The trouble with GBs, they fly so well they just don't want to land. And Joel, they float and float and float, and you just want it to land, but it won't. Once it's in the air, it just wants to stay there. Beautiful. I had one of these, a 97-inch version.
So that's an R2?
No, that's a G. That's just called a Sportster.
Oh, that's called a Sportster.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's a Y.
GBY. I beg your pardon, GBY.
Thank you.
And this is another one of Doug's. This is a Ryan STA.
Painted in the colours of the Uruguayan Air Force, as denoted by the rudder. It's copied off an aircraft that did live down in Tyabb in Victoria, but is now hanging up in a hangar after it had a forced landing on a freeway down there.
And Doug, you bought this as an aircraft, and you actually did it up, didn't you?
Yeah, I got it given to me as a wreck, and I fiberglassed the fuselage, recovered the wings with nylon, added the flying wires, and yeah, pretty well started from scratch.
Yeah, it's an unusual colour, the aluminium, and very nice indeed.
I'm actually quite glad today that it's some of the cloud has gone away, because flying this on a grey cloud day ain't good.
Yeah, I can imagine it'd be hard to see.
The smaller end of the scale here.
The smaller end of the scale, I'm not quite sure what that is. Is that an Avro 504, or I'm not quite sure what that is supposed to be. But a little darling, and I love the dummy engine.
I hope it
Fabulous.
spins. It looks like it might spin.
It does.
It does spin.
Oh,
That's
it does.
fantastic.
Fabulous.
That is
It's
very-
electric, but the whole thing spins.
Oh, that's a beautiful
Wonderful.
detail.
Now this is a GB
R3.
R3.
I got one.
I think you're right,
I got
Joel.
one. It's an R3.
An R3, correct.
Oh, don't they just
A real good looker. Designed for speed.
I got to make this joke. So that's a Mustang, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, Joel. No. I think that's a P40.
Oh, it's P40. Damn
Yeah.
it. Oh, yes.
That's
right,
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't see many of them as models.
No,
do you?
no. And beautifully painted.
It's a really nice looking
Owned by a
skin.
member here called Dave Bolstad. Done a great job with the paint.
Here's one of the races for later.
Here's one of the races, one of the tigers. Hopefully we might have some tiger racing later if we've got a few tigers.
That'd be
And yeah, that's fun. And of course the flying wings have been, these flying wings, Joel, have become very popular in our club. And you blink and they're in a different postcode, you know, but they're a lot of fun to fly, and there's probably about half a dozen in the club.
Got some racing happening. I didn't set up the gimbal, but it's a lot of fun. Cool noise. Everyone's loving it. Look at Clive scurrying away. Clive didn't want to be on video. I think he saw us coming and he's making a break for it.
Our president.
President.
Now this is
Very
the
nice
this
guy.
is the new Shock Cub. Hasn't been out long.
Very cool.
Designed for stall, short takeoff and landings. As you can see, it's got slats on the front. You can have barn door flaps, and designed for, as I said, short takeoffs and landings. Beautiful aircraft to handle, I believe, and getting quite popular now. I think it's powered by a twin.
I think it's a DLE 40.
I think it's a DLE 40, a twin, yeah.
That's nice. Oh, we're at the end of it now, Colin.
And here we have another Spitfire here, and that is a Tiger Moth. Now this has got a bit of history, this one, Joel. This Tiger Moth is actually, or was, at Camden, and you could go for joy flights in it. And I have been for a joy flight in this exact Tiger
15
Moth.
years ago, would that have been the right one?
Yeah, could
Yeah,
be.
I've been in it too.
Well, there you go. And the chap who is an instructor and takes you for a ride is one of the chaps here, Jay.
Oh, that's
But
fantastic.
he's out of a job now because they've gone bankrupt.
Oh, well.
So, but he still flies this as a model. Yeah.
Right. Oh, so that Jay flies the full size?
Yeah,
Oh,
correct.
I didn't know. I had to
Correct.
ask Jay about that.
Yeah.
All right, and we got a stick.
And we
Ugly
got a stick. Oh, God.
Which war did the ugly stick fight in?
Well, it never did, mate.
Yeah.
It was never a plane, Joel, was it? And how they never made this into a real plane, I don't know, because this is probably one of the top 5 flyers for models. It just flies so good. I mean, I did my gold wings on a stick. That's how
Me too,
easy it
20
is.
years ago, yeah.
Exactly. They, as you know, how good they fly. And they do everything, you know, they take off well, they land well, you can throw them around the sky. A great plane for, say, intermediate.
Yeah.
And then you can go to what you're doing, you know, edges and
Dangerous stuff.
and all the dangerous stuff, mate. Exactly, yeah, the display stuff, yeah.
All right, Colin. Well, thank you very much for your time and giving
My
us that little
pleasure.
tour
No, it's
of
been
club.
a lot of fun, mate.
Yeah, it's great to have a look at all the models.
Yeah.
Looks like we've even got some public here and everyone seems to be enjoying themselves.
Yes, hope so. I mean, the lunch will go on at 12 o'clock, but it wasn't widely publicised. Usually we might get up to 200 people sometimes, you know.
That's crazy.
And it gets a bit uncontrollable.
Yeah.
But no, it's good to see people out. It's the first stale event we've had for 2 years because of COVID.
Wow.
So it's great that we can get together again, and it's a shame the weather's not as good as it could be because people are reluctant to bring the big stuff, me included. You know, I've got 4-meter aeroplanes
not
I didn't
today.
bring, but never mind, maybe next time.
All right, Colin. Thanks for that, mate.
Thanks, Joel.